What is going on, you guys? Your boy Putty Montana, and in this video we're going to be going over how to run cover 3 in Madden 24. Now before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, and hit that noti bell so you guys never miss a video. And if you're back for another one, you should know the vibes already. FTA, just comment FTA down below. It stands for the algorithm, and it helps push these videos to more and more people. Now, cover 3. This might be a long-winded video because I am going to be talking a lot like I always do. But cover 3, there are ways to make your cover 3 better in Madden 24. So we're going to go over those key pieces. And there's going to be one specific piece that I think has made my cover 3 a little bit better. I think I said cover 4 earlier. I meant cover 3. But we're going to make cover 3 10 times better. And again, we're going to go over everything that you need to know to make your cover 3 a little bit, you know, top tier. So first things first, we are going to start with abilities when it comes to this cover 3. So I'm going to flip my cover 3 for a specific reason. I'll explain that in a bit. So on the offensive side, I'm just going to call this tight Y off just so we can go over the abilities that I'm currently using in this cover 3. So first things first, these guys down here in the middle of the field, they don't matter to me. Why? Because I want everything to be as symmetrical as possible. And as you can see, that's kind of how the formation is. These two guys that are in the middle currently have lurk artist, which is going to make it so that, you know, we are able to catch those interceptions that are, you know, that they might be throwing in between seams and stuff like that. So again, if you can't afford these guys, then these guys are not for you. So again, these 4 guys that are here, you guys don't have to worry about them. It's the cornerbacks, the outside corners, and the deep in safety that we have. So first things first, the outside cornerbacks, number 1 and number 2, are going to have the ability deep out zone KO. Now, for those of you guys that always question the kind of abilities and the kind of posts that I post, here is a clip. Here is a simple clip of that ability lighting up, and for some reason, just literally pretty much playing this route psychically. Like he just did this like he was a psychic. Yes, I taunted, I showboated a little bit, but that's what happens when you throw an interception in the first drive of the game. Simple, right? And that the only reason that happens is because if you notice, he lights up. This guy lit up, Julius Peppers. He lights up and he's able to sit there and make a play on that ball. Makes your life 10 times easier. So that happens because we have deep out zone KO. Without deep out zone KO, they don't react fast enough. Now, number 2, and one of the most important pieces to the puzzle here, is the safety that you have in the deep blue on the inside. That person is going to have deep end zone KO. Now, where this gets a little bit different for me is I've also equipped mid zone KO as well. And if you want the best stack, I think this is possibly the best stack. AP currently is 11 AP, and you can find a safety in the game that has a discounted deep end zone, and you can put mid zone KO on them. So right now, this is going to be your most important person to the puzzle. Now, the reason why I put mid zone KO on this person is because a lot of the times, this deep in right here, he ends up, people start throwing seam passes right where that person is. People start throwing pretty much routes right where this specific deep zone is. And if he's too low down here, he will not knock those passes out. I have knocked more passes out with the mid zone KO than I have with the deep end zone KO. It's just one of those things that is just going to make your defense a lot harder to read in terms of the defensive side. So the reason why this guy is so important is because he ends up knocking passes out literally from here all the way down here. This is literally his area right here. This is because he has mid zone KO and that deep end zone KO. So the only thing that you can get past this guy here are routes that are going, and let me change the color of this real quick, are routes that are going over here. These are the zones that your player is not going to guard, and anything during the flat zone. But it's a good thing for us that with these 2 abilities equipped on that middle safety, you're going to pretty much be able to have a lot of ground pretty much covered if they throw in that person's way. So again, these 3 abilities are huge. Now, little certain bits to make your defense a little bit better. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, for cover 3, you can also go ahead and double Mabel certain things, and this is when your defense gets a little bit harder to read, especially if you're double Mabeling things. But this right here is a decent setup for cover 3. Now, granted, I like having the regular setup where everything is normal, but cover 3, this is exactly how you're going to run it almost every single time. So I'm going to call timeout now so we can go over the coaching adjustments when it comes to this. So coaching adjustments, we're going to set our auto flip defensive play call to off. Why? Because our formation is going to be symmetrical regardless. And we want to make sure that that deep safety that's in the middle is going to be the safety that has the abilities that we equipped on him. So that's going to be one of the main things. You need to have this off. Auto alignment, leave it at default. Like I said, again, we want the formation to be symmetrical. Then you got the cornerback matchups and all that stuff. Do not worry about those. This is where things get adjusty. Zone drops, flats, leave them at 10. Hooks, leave your hooks at 10. And obviously, if you want to adjust depending on what's going on in the game, by all means, go ahead and do so. Zone drops and hooks, this is probably the only one that I'll change a lot, simply because I would want my other guy that's pretty much being played at random to pretty much go and play something different. So the only other one is curl flats. You can leave this at default. The only time that you will change this is if you are going for a double Mabel. Now, the reason why we have our zone drops at 10 and not 15 is because we simply want to slow down any type of pass that's going towards the outside. So let's run this tight end corner play here. So we want to slow down any pass that's going towards the outside. Now, another thing when I run this is you're going to shade down and shade over the top, simply so we can have our cloud flats. So they're going to end up going up towards about here, right? Because we have them at a 10-yard cloud flats. So what that does, it allows us to pretty much have the deep end zone pretty much react to that route. They need to have a clear out route when it comes to that. So by the time that this guy gets all the way back there, by the time he goes for the corner route, the deep end zone, the deep out zone will be able to sit there and make a play on that ball. So I'm gonna try to test it out here without actually using my user. So we try to throw it to X, they react, and look at Julius Peppers going ahead and not just knocking it out, but getting the interception. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is stopping corner routes. And this is an easy way to kind of sort of clamp that up. You're going to be able to click on and make sure that your guy is pretty much making a play on that pass. And it's just going to make your life 10 times easier. Couple key notes when it comes to cover 3. And one thing that I like to do, I like to press, shade underneath and shade over the top. It creates those cloud flats that are, going towards that outside. I don't like curl flats. They don't play anything, in my opinion, and it just makes life a little bit harder. Now, after this is where things get a little bit weird, in my opinion, but it worked for me. Again, everything that I post on the channel is something that I've labbed up myself, and I've ran through an entire season, and if it works, that's when I post it. So cover 3, it worked beautifully. So one reason why it worked beautifully is because of the way that I run it. So one thing that you're going to look at when you come out on the offensive side of the ball, or excuse me, the defensive side, is where are the extra people? Okay. Right now we have 1, 2, 3 receivers on one side of the ball. So immediately the way that I'm looking at the defense, I'm looking at that and going, okay, so I have to put more emphasis on stopping that side of the ball, or just allowing my defense to pretty much play the way that it's supposed to be, right? So what I do when this happens is all of a sudden I let my user go. Why? Because most of the time these routes are going to go either towards a corner route, right? So these guys are going to go corner, streak, and a flat, whatever the case is, some kind of flood concept, or they're going to take their talents and pretty much take it to the other side of the field, right? Something like that, whatever the case is, right? Double drags, corner routes, whatever. So whenever I see more numbers on one side of the field than the other, one thing that you are going to want to do is take that safety and bring him to that side, okay? Bring that safety to that side of the field. So if they try to throw a quick seam route, right? They try to throw some kind of seam. And let's actually showcase this real quick. I'm going to take Smith. I'm going to completely take him out of the picture here. I'm going to man him up on him. And I'm going to take the tight end and just put him on a streak here. Tight end on a streak. And guess what? That's not deep in zone KO that's lighting up. Excuse me, I still got the squigglies out there. That's not deep in zone that's lighting up. That is mid zone KO lighting up. And that's one of the reasons why this is one of the most important abilities here, because this is not a 20-yard pass. The deep zone KOs, they only work past the 20-yard mark. This is a mid zone KO that will also work where? In the red zone. And that's why it's so important to have these abilities on, because abilities make the game. So again, this is a crucial thing that I think is very, very important. So again, we're going to press our defense, shade down and shade up, simply to have our cloud flats out there. And wherever the strong side of the defense is, or wherever there's more receivers, you're going to take that safety that's in that deep blue and you're going to hover him towards that side specifically. Okay? That's step number one. Then you're going to take this outside cornerback. If you chose to move the middle safety towards a specific side, do me a favor and also take that same side cornerback and put him in an outside quarter. Okay, put him in an outside quarter. What this is going to do, this is going to allow them to play the corner routes a lot quicker. They're going to play that a lot sharper, and you're going to get a lot more stops when it comes to that. Then your user is going to be on the left side. Your user has to account for anything going from the seam routes up here. So your user, yes, he's in a hook, but your user is going to have to account for all of this first. Okay. The reason being, okay, again, we're talking a lot, but I promise you, if you are cover 3 runners, this is going to help you guys out a lot. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because this guy's assignment is to dart back anyways. So when that happens, he's already got a head start on playing the route that's going towards the middle of the field. Even if it's on the left side, even if it's on the right side, that deep end zone will react quick enough to sit there and make a play on most of the things. Your user just has to account for these guys going up the seam real quick. And usually, you know, when you have somebody as tall as Carmichael, that's gonna help you guys out. So again, let's make pretend like this guy's just going on a simple streak and he's calls hike. We're guarding that and then we're letting it go. Why? Because if they throw that, our deep end zone is going to react fast enough. Watch, let's just take a look at this real quick. So immediately he starts darting towards this route here. And again, we're holding that route long enough to where if they try to throw it, he's going to react right towards it and he's going to get a deep end zone KO knockout. I promise you, it happened so many times during a Super Bowl run that it just made my life that much easier. So again, make sure your user is staying diligent and making sure that he's being put in a position to sit there and slow these guys down and pretty much take advantage of your opponent pretty much slacking on their offense. Another way that you guys can slow this down, especially if they are trying to do the whole streak on that side, take your outside corner that's on the opposite side of where you moved your safety and put him in a deep half. That is going to allow that person to pretty much play a route that's going that way. Okay. So again, he's right there for it, able to knock it out, calling it a day, and that's a GG's. Cover 3, one of the easiest defenses to run, one of the most efficient defenses to run, and there's probably the best blitz in the game is actually coming out of it. And if you guys want me to go over that, we have done it on the channel before, but there's a different variation of it. And if you guys want, I will go over that. And it's obviously the $1 gap that everybody currently runs from pro player to non-pro. It's the best defense in the game. It's the best blitz in the game. So if you guys want me to go over that, leave it down in the comment section. This is how to maximize your cover 3 in Madden 24. My name is Pony Montana. I will see you guys in the next one. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.